On September 13th, 2021, Sarah Dungo, a travel vlogger living the van life, experienced the most terrifying night of her journey. After spending a few days enjoying the vibrant art scene in Asheville, North Carolina, she chose to stay overnight at a Cracker Barrel parking lot, a place widely regarded as safe and welcoming by the van life community.
A city that had a Planet Fitness, which is the gym I work at.
The first night was peaceful. A few RVs were parked nearby and the warm glow of streetlights put her at ease. But on the second night, she opted for a different lot. Quiet, spacious, and seemingly empty. As the restaurant closed, her small silver van stood alone in the darkened lot.
There were some other RVs around, and I had a very peaceful sleep. After that, I decided to stick around the city for one more day and explore a little more. Throughout the downtown area, took in some of the architecture and city vibe. The second day in the city was similar to my first. It was nice, but the night was completely off. Sometimes they even have designated parking spots for larger rigs. So I ended up spending the night here. There was it. I decided to park overnight at a different Cracker Barrel across the town, which seemed a little quieter with good Google reviews.
While cooking dinner, a loud, aggressive knock startled her, rapid and filled with anger. The pounding moved from the side door to the back of the van, accompanied by a man's raspy voice muttering something about a woman hiding in the van. For a few seconds, Sarah froze. She turned off the lights, held her breath, and hoped the stranger would leave. But the knocking only grew louder.
Heard an alarming knock. Know her, please leave me be.
The man, who seemed to be under the influence, circled the van, peering through the window gaps, cursing, and demanding that Sarah open the door to prove she wasn't hiding anyone. Her heart raced, her hands trembled, but she stayed calm and softly responded, "You've got the wrong person. Please leave." He didn't listen. His voice alternated between pleading and threatening, creating a chilling silence in the empty parking lot.
Fuck your camera, man. You're not
After several tense minutes, Sarah realized waiting could make things spiral out of control. She unplugged the stove, started the van, turned on the headlights, and sped off, leaving behind the man's staggering figure in the dim light. She drove over 10 miles to a lot with other RVs before daring to stop and call the police.
It's about 3 hours after the incident, and I'm still kind of thinking about it and just replaying the scenario out, seeing what I could have done differently, but also appreciating the fact that what I did was perfect because I'm here, I'm safe, physically unharmed.
That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. Every gust of wind against the van made her jump. Adrenaline still surged, and her hands still shook on the steering wheel. At dawn, she headed toward the Blue Ridge Mountains, seeking some peace after the ordeal. Sarah continued her journey, but from then on, she never parked in a completely empty lot again. That night, Luke, the founder of the Outdoor Gear Review, decided to try a small experiment, sleeping on a cot set up in the back of his truck instead of curling up in the front seat as usual. But he never expected this seemingly simple experience would turn into a chilling night he later described as both funny and blood-curdling.
Sleep in the front seat, you don't get a hotel, nothing like that. Sleeping in a front seat, that's not great. That has to be a whole lot better. Now, of course, even with a full-size truck, the cab here is somewhat small. That means for this to work, I will have to lay partially up against the door.
The weather that day was strange. Though snow still blanketed the ground, the temperature was unusually warm, around 59 degrees. This temperature difference created a thick fog that enveloped the mountain road Luke was driving on. He had to turn off his camera and focus on driving, as visibility was down to just a few meters. When he emerged from the fog, he spotted a Walmart sign, a large parking lot, dark enough for privacy but bright enough to feel safe. He decided to stop there for the night.
Almost like a chair. That makes it more comfortable to sit on, and at the same time, I have a lot of storage underneath it. When I was putting away my friends, I need to focus on finding something for dinner. I could go inside of Walmart, or I could find something in this area.
After checking the surroundings, Luke drove to a nearby Taco Bell, eating dinner amid a noisy crowd of students. 25 minutes later, he returned to his truck, finished his meal in silence, opened the window to breathe in the cool air, and shared a few past camping stories with his audience. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until 3 a.m.
I have finally made it back. That took bloody forever. I went half a mile down the road to a Taco Bell and sat in line for about 25 minutes. Like the place was just surrounded by like college kids. I know why they're eating at Taco Bell. Anyway, I have a whole bag of hard-shell tacos here. That is going to be my dinner. I love hard-shell tacos, folks. Nothing is better in my opinion.
A sound pierced the stillness, a man's eerie singing. At first, Luke thought it was just a drunk person humming aimlessly, but the song dragged on, repetitive, with words that sent chills down his spine. The devil walks tonight. The devil walks tonight. The voice was slow and heavy, then suddenly shifted to screams and shouts, accompanied by the loud banging of trash cans echoing across the lot. Luke cautiously lifted the curtain, and in the dim streetlight, he saw a man walking in circles around the parking lot, singing and talking to himself. The man stopped at each vehicle, peering into windows before moving on. Another truck driver pulled in but left seconds later. The atmosphere felt heavy, as if the entire lot had been swallowed by a deranged, sleepwalking nightmare.
Now, everybody, I slept great back here. And I didn't have any issues last night, with the exception of one guy. He appears that I don't know if he's living back here next to this trash can or something, but, I mean, from like 3 o'clock in the morning, this guy has been walking around singing songs. I woke up hearing someone say, like, something about the devil as he walked by, and it's the same song, I believe, over and over and over, but, like, he's like listening to it on his phone and he's singing with it and just like jamming out. And yeah, I don't know. Like he just walks around this parking lot like all night long. It's pretty bizarre. You might be able to hear him singing right now.
Luke tried to go back to sleep, but the singing persisted, steady like a chant. When dawn broke, the lot began to fill with people. Luke sat up, pulled back the curtain, and the man was still there, standing in the middle of the lot, singing the same haunting line, his eyes empty, lips moving endlessly. YouTuber Zach began his video like any other urban exploration, venturing deep into the stormwater tunnels beneath Colorado Springs, armed only with a flashlight and camera. At first, it was eerily quiet. The only sounds were dripping water and his footsteps echoing off the concrete walls. But as he went deeper, Zach stopped. A scream tore through the tunnel, echoing from somewhere far within.
Okay, guys.
The sound wasn't human, unnatural, distorted, like a wild animal's cry twisted into something else. Zach turned, his flashlight beam trembling. A series of growls answered, distant at first, then falling silent. He started backing away, heart pounding. As his light swept the walls, wet footprints shaped like human feet appeared in the puddles. Who, or what, made them was unclear.
What the fuck? Nope. I'm jumping out. Fuck this shit. I don't know what that is. Oh
fuck. Zach didn't wait to find out. He turned and ran, sprinting out of the tunnel, his breathing echoing loudly. Whether it was a person or not, I don't want to know, he said.
Oh fuck.
The Taylor family, Luke, Shell, their young son Maximus, and their dog Frey, were used to van life adventures filled with laughter and stunning sunsets. But a weekend camping trip in the Peak District showed them that nomadic life isn't always just peace and freedom. Sometimes it holds unforgettable fear. That morning started calmly. They parked their van, Wolfie, on an old road overlooking a misty lake. After visiting the town of Buxton and Goit Valley, the family found a small lakeside spot to spend the night. The area had no parking signs, was quiet, and seemed perfect for a relaxing evening. As night fell, the soft glow of the van's lights mingled with the sound of lake waves and gentle wind, creating the serene atmosphere they loved. But the tranquility didn't last. While preparing dinner, Frey suddenly barked fiercely toward the outside. Luke stepped out and saw a strange woman standing in the darkness, tightly gripping the collar of a large Alsatian dog. Her face was cold, her voice sharp, and her demeanor tense. The brief confrontation was heavy, leaving the family with a clear sense of unease. The woman left, but the air around them felt thick. Minutes later, an older man appeared, pounding hard on the van's door. He shouted, accusing Luke of insulting his wife, pointing aggressively and stepping closer to the door. Inside, Shell and Maximus were frightened, while Luke tried to stay calm, asking the man to leave.
Can I help you?
No, can I help you? Look,
Can you step back,
down
please?
here?
Can
I
you
know,
step back,
my
please?
wife said
Can you step? My child and my wife are in this van. Can
right.
you step back from my door, please?
Right, okay.
Now. No, step back out of my personal space. Step back out of my personal space.
No, you listen, mate.
The way he spoke and
It's a proper
swore,
picnic
knocking on the
here.
door and coming right in my face.
proper picnic
You're a
here.
disgrace for coming up to my
Don't
child.
you say that.
Don't start. Don't start. Don't start.
All right, mate.
The tension escalated with each passing minute as the man refused to back off. Only when they mentioned calling the police did he reluctantly walk away, angry, leaving behind a stifling atmosphere and a night no longer peaceful. Feeling the situation could turn dangerous, the Taylors decided to pack up and leave. They drove around the reservoir, finding another spot far from the incident. The new place had a few other vehicles nearby, but instead of the quiet they hoped for, a group was partying by the lakeside, with a bright campfire, music, and laughter echoing through the night. Inside the van, Maximus fell asleep after a long day, but his parents couldn't rest. The noises outside kept them on edge, and every footstep passing by made them hold their breath. Near midnight, Luke heard someone walk close to the van, pause for a moment, then move on. He didn't go out to check. He just sat silently until dawn broke. The next morning, the atmosphere seemed to shift. The partygoers had left, leaving an empty, quiet scene. But as Shell looked around, she noticed fresh mud marks on the van's exterior, proof that someone had indeed stood close to their van in the night. As they left the Peak District, the Taylor family drove in silence for a long stretch. They knew they were lucky things hadn't escalated further. The experience reminded them that, while van life brings freedom and discovery, vigilance is essential. Even in the most peaceful-seeming places, a single knock on the door in the dead of night can turn a dream trip into a haunting memory. In November 2020, deep in a remote forest with no cell signal, Dr. Hannah Straight, a YouTuber known for her camping and survival videos, was spending what she thought would be a peaceful night in her van. But shortly after midnight, a series of strange noises shattered the silence.
I was sleeping, dead asleep last night, above my cab. All of a sudden, I heard something rummaging through my cab. I was trying to be super quiet, super still. I didn't want to move because I didn't know what was in the back of my truck. And I rolled over and peeked through the window. And I swear there was like this huge thing standing there going through my stuff. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. There's no way it's a person. I'm miles from civilization. I always lock my doors at night. I must have forgotten. He must have heard me, or whatever it was heard me, because
The van's door rattled violently, then swung open. The sound of metal clanging and objects crashing jolted her awake. When she turned on the light, Hannah froze. Her entire campsite had been torn apart. Food containers were spilled, bags ripped open, and gear scattered everywhere, as if someone, or something, had deliberately ransacked it. Instead of fleeing, Hannah decided to investigate. She set up infrared cameras around the camp and waited in silence. The next morning, when she reviewed the footage, she went cold. The screen showed a strange figure, moving on two legs, swaying awkwardly, but clearly not human. It crashed heavily into trees before vanishing into the darkness.
well, it's been about 3 hours and I haven't seen or heard anything, but I'm gonna keep waiting. Still waiting around, haven't seen or heard anything. It's getting kind of late. Did you see that thing? I wonder if the outside camera got it. I don't know what that thing was, but that was insane. I've never seen anything like that creature before. It's just ripping through the woods. It is terrifying, and I need to get out of here right now. I gotta go. This is insane. I gotta shut this off.
Her voice in the video dropped, trembling slightly. Whatever it was big enough to break open my van's door. Soon after, Hannah packed up and left the area, cutting her trip short. The footage, though blurry and grainy, sent chills through viewers. Because sometimes what lurks in the night forest isn't just a wild animal, but something humans have yet to name. On the night of January 16th, 2024, in Palm Springs, California, YouTuber Ian, a nearly decade-long nomad who films daily vlogs, decided to sleep in his vehicle after a long work shift. For him, stealth camping in a 24-hour McDonald's parking lot was routine, a safe choice for a quick rest. But that night, what seemed harmless became the most terrifying experience of his life. Ian arrived at the lot just after 11 p.m. The space was quiet, with only a few scattered cars under the dim yellow streetlights. He ate a quick late-night meal, checked the door locks, and lay down in the back seat, pulling the curtains tight. The steady hum of the air conditioner lulled him to sleep. Everything was calm, until around 2 a.m. A clunk sound jolted him awake. It wasn't like wind or an accidental bump. It was the sound of the door handle being tested. Each twist was deliberate, slow, and spine-chilling. Ian held his breath and peeked through the fogged window. Outside, a figure stood right against the door, silently staring in. No knocking, no speaking. The face was half-lit, half-shadowed, with hollow eyes fixed in place.
What's going on, man? What's going on? What's up? What's up, man? What's going on? What are you doing?
Ian grabbed his camera and started recording, his hands shaking. The man outside stayed still, occasionally bending to try the door handle again, then looking up, silent. The quiet made the air feel thick. Ian called out softly, "You've got the wrong car," but got no response. The man just stared through the glass, his empty gaze piercing through Ian. Trapped in the confined space, Ian felt suffocated. He turned on the interior light, hoping to scare the stranger off, but the light only made the scene more horrifying. A pale face, cracked lips, and a vacant stare. The man tilted his head, tried the handle once more, then stepped back, slowly walking toward the end of the lot without a word. Thinking the stranger was gone, Ian started the car, ready to leave. But as he looped back toward the McDonald's, the man was there again, standing just a few dozen meters away, motionless in the dim light. He didn't approach, didn't leave, just stood, watching, as if waiting for something. Ian admitted he was never the same after that night. He no longer slept in empty lots, always double-locked his doors and kept his camera running all night. But one thing he couldn't shake: the man's empty, chilling eyes, staring through the glass as if waiting for him to open the door. No knock, no words, just absolute silence, the kind that makes you realize the deepest fear doesn't come from sound, but from the moment you know someone is standing in the darkness, watching you. In September 2024, American YouTuber Kenny, host of Kenny of All Trades, embarked on a solo camping trip in Foothills National Forest, Minnesota. He traveled across the U.S. with his loyal dog, Toby, filming hundreds of videos about wilderness life. But that night, in a silent forest with no cell signal or city lights, Kenny faced a night he'd never forget.
No, Toby. We got a fire pit. What else do you need for a night of camping? This is gonna work perfect for a single night. I don't have any cell phone service, so I'll text Mandy my GPS coordinates off the Garmin inReach. We got this thing all to ourselves. What do you think, Toby? Yeah.
The day was perfect. Kenny found a flat spot near a small stream, set up camp, built a fire, and filmed sunset scenes for his next video. The last rays of sunlight filtered through the trees, and Toby dozed by the campfire, an idyllic scene that felt utterly peaceful. But as night fell, the atmosphere shifted. The sounds of wind and birds faded into silence. The forest grew so quiet, Kenny could hear his own heartbeat in the dark. He wasn't concerned until the first rustling sound came from behind the camp.
Really good day. Toby's wore out. He is out like a light. He's not going to be coming out here, but the good news is he's comfortable inside the camper. Last weekend it got down. The woods is really loud tonight.
Toby's head snapped up, ears perked. Kenny swept his flashlight around, seeing only trees and fog. He laughed, reassuring himself it was just a squirrel or deer. But minutes later, the sound returned, clearer this time. Slow, steady footsteps circling the campsite. Unease spread through him. Kenny doused the fire, staying silent to listen. Twigs snapped and gravel crunched lightly, not animal sounds. Then suddenly, a heavy thud came from near the forest's edge. Toby barked. Kenny jumped, quickly brought Toby into the vehicle and locked the doors. He sat still in the darkness, straining to hear. Moments later, a loud thunk hit the side of the vehicle, startling him. This was real. Not wind, not animals. Someone or something was right outside. Every move he made seemed to draw a response, as if he were being watched.
Bats darting around the light. Probably head back to the camper. There's definitely some noise in this woods.
Toby growled low, eyes fixed on the window. Kenny gripped his flashlight, shining it outside. Only thick fog reflected the faint beam. He thought about starting the camera, but his hands shook too much to hold it. Finally, he lay down, eyes wide open, waiting for dawn. The night felt endless, but when the first light broke through the forest, Kenny stepped out and froze. On the damp ground around the vehicle, human footprints stretched in continuous loops, circling his camp at least 3 times. No animal tracks, no missing gear. Just the chilling truth that someone had been there all night, silently watching him. In the video posted days later, Kenny's voice still trembled as he recounted the story. He mentioned the camera caught faint metallic clinking sounds he hadn't noticed at the time. After that night, Kenny never returned to Foothills. He continued his travels but always double-locked his doors, kept lights on at night, and avoided places that were too quiet. In March 2024, British YouTuber Brendan, the creator of Brendan Explores, and his close friend Steve set out for a stealth camping trip in the Peak District, a hilly region known for its beauty, but also for strange tales of nighttime strangers. They started early in the morning, carrying a camera, food, and excitement for a day of adventure.
It ain't gonna be that much of a mission, is it? Now, here's a decision, right?
No, they might.
Now we need to decide, right? Do we keep that in, right? And do we be honest, right? Or do we play a little bit?
Play it out. Because we don't want everyone coming in.
Get to the ridge and go, oh, we're still trying, we're still trying.
We'll just have this moment.
Well, as long as it's signposted for the rest of the way, we're going to be all right.
But they tend to like to make you go across the main paths, right?
Yeah.
Stick to the main paths, which always go the long way round, don't they?
Me hyping up the start. We're on the trail. Off to 3 signposts away and we're there.
I might be joking now, but I'm about to seriously eat my words. Sneaky hint, I don't make it to the crash site.
At first, the trip was like any other video. They hiked through misty slopes, stopping at the Lovelock Bridge to film a few scenes for the vlog, a peaceful, emotional spot. As dusk fell, they reached Weaver Hills, planning to spend the night in Brendan's old van. The air was still, with only the wind whistling through the valley. Brendan knew locals frowned on stealth camping, but he figured one quiet night would go unnoticed.
Yeah.
The gear change is very distinct.
My God, it's a beast. It's a logger.
Oh yes, look at that.
We've had a couple of tractors go by, and judging by a couple of reviews of this place, most of which are positive, may I add, apparently some of the locals aren't too happy about people parking here. For whatever reason, I don't know. Your dinner is done, sir.
Night heater is on. Oh, mate. Is that mine?
This. 2 toasted chicken fajitas.
It brings a
with
tear
some
to
sweet
my
potato
eye.
fries,
I'll take
my
that
friend.
in the warm van, shall I?
Yeah, go on, mate.
God, it is cold, mate.
It's cold. It's cold. It is cold.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
You go and enjoy it, all right?
Right,
now, when you finish that, make sure you come back with your Bakewell tart.
Yes, I will. I will.
See you tomorrow, mate. Right, that's our evening finished on this beautiful hillside park up. I don't even remember what the hill's called now, but maybe you can see some of the lights in the distance there. We've got a couple of cars rolling past from time to time, but nothing that's going to be concerning us too much. I think get the bed set up and get ready for bed, I think. And then we'll be off to go and explore more of the Peak District and other places in and around the Peak District tomorrow. We're not going to be cooking tomorrow. We're going to be sampling some of the local delights that the Peak District has to offer. We're going to grab a light breakfast in Ashbourne. I think that's the name of it. And then I think we'll finish the day up in a place called Uttoxeter to have a nice meal before we part ways. But that's tomorrow, so make sure you stick around for next week's video. But from this little park up, on top of the hillside.
Then, night descended, bringing an unnatural silence. Near midnight, Brendan jolted awake. A strange noise came from outside the van. At first, it was the crunch of gravel, then clear footsteps circling the vehicle. He sat up, holding his breath. The sound stopped, then started again on the other side. Steve woke up too, and they exchanged a glance, neither speaking for a few seconds.
Someone was just outside. Oh. You alright, mate?
Yeah. And there's a car. Did you have it as well?
Yeah.
Like a.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at you, mate. A car pissing about up there. It must have been. They were by the van. I don't know what he's doing up there. He's the one
Hang on.
worrying me a little bit.
Yeah, hang on.
Well, he's got something to say.
What time is it?
You stay away from my van.
Honestly, when I heard that car go past, what were they doing?
I don't know, but we've got something up there who's got a big spotlight on. He's our problem.
They opened the van door. Outside was thick fog with no light except Steve's faint flashlight. The wind swirled, icy cold, but something felt off, an indescribable presence. As they stepped out a few paces, Steve froze. A vehicle was parked not far away, its lights off, no one inside. Both stood silent, listening. Suddenly, the vehicle roared to life and sped off, tires kicking up gravel into the dark night. "It can't just be a coincidence," Brendan whispered, his voice tense. They stood still for a long moment, then returned to the van and locked the door. Though they tried to sleep, the sound of the wind seemed to carry the echo of those tires fading away. The next morning, Brendan recounted the incident in his video. "Something wasn't right. I don't think it was just someone passing through. No one wanders a remote place like this in the middle of the night." Though there was no clear evidence, the strain in his voice made viewers feel the truth behind the story. A trip that seemed ordinary left viewers with a lingering unease about the fragility of safety, when even the most peaceful places might hide something quietly watching from the darkness.